All right, hi everybody. Welcome to another devlog. So today we're talking about, um, I guess, rabbit holes, like this chalkboard. it's the it's the it's the project that just keeps on giving. Um, so I started making this chalkboard so that I could write some stuff while I'm doing these videos. So here, let me put my name up here. I'm not really a professor, except in VR. Anyway, so I started working on the chalkboard, and it just kind of kept going and going and going. I mean, it started out as just something really simple where I could like put up some ideas and help communicate while I'm doing the videos, and then it turned into, well, I wonder if I can make it transparent, and I wonder if I can make a cool eraser that that handles that, and I wonder if I can. Make the whole board like an old school vintage board that rotates and is a movable physical object and stuff. Um, and it just kind of keeps going and going. And that's the kind of thing that I really enjoy. I embrace it. And it seems like sometimes it's a waste of time, but a lot of times during these explorations, you learn a lot of new cool techniques, or you pick up a new technology that you wouldn't have learned about if you didn't do it in an exploratory manner. So in this case, I mean, I learned about chroma key because I've got an optical orthographic camera doing the board, um, and and so I had to make a custom shader to handle the transparency erasure because the eraser paints everything like solid black, and so black is actually converted to transparent. Um, uh, and I don't know, the whole thing, it just ends up being a lot of fun, just going from one step to another, trying to solve problems. So in this case, I was working on this tilt effect of the board, and I've run into this before where what you're looking for is like a joint friction, and the engine doesn't really have joint friction built into it. You can try to use like dampening, you can try to use drag, like angular drag, or positional drag. You can try to do that, but they're problematic. Drag, if I drag one part of a complex object, and that's gonna cause problems with the rest of the object if the whole object is moving through space or rotating or whatever. And dampening, um, oftentimes dampening doesn't give you the right effect. You have to crank it way up to try to get an effect. Let's say you're trying to do a lever. You have to crank it up to give it the right amount of like resistance on the lever. But then dampening is proportional to the velocity or angular velocity, and so then when the lever is just sitting there and gravity's tugging on it, it's like slowly moving because there's barely any drag, because there's barely any force, and the thing just keeps moving until it gets to the bottom. And again, that's not the effect that you're going for. You want it to freeze in space and be resistant up to a certain amount, and then once you reach that threshold, you want it to just move along nicely. And so that's what we're working on today, and it all started with this board. And so, there we go. Yay, tethers. Um, anyway, so I was playing. Like I said, I'm playing around with the board, and I'm like, oh man, I need to make this. I need to make this joint friction, and try to come up with a solution for that. So I had played around with this before, with positional friction, but I hadn't done it, with angles. So I figured I might as well write this. So what I'm talking about. So here we've got. So you can see this is attached to. You can see the blue target here is what it's chasing, and it's trying to rotate to where the blue target is. And if I push this farther than a threshold, then the PD has the ability to modify the rotation of the target itself, and update it to a new location. So it follows along and makes it so that the object and the target are near each other, um, and it provides this nice, smooth resistance, which is kind of like friction in the joint, like a rotational resistance in the joint, and it's just really really nice. You can modify how much play is in it, so this has like a lot of play in it, um, but once it moves past a certain point, then the target's updated, and it goes where you want it. And it can resist. So gravity is enabled. You can see gravity is enabled because it's below the target. It's sagging, but it has ample ability to resist gravity in this case. So it makes for a nice, usable lever that feels like a cool lever. And you can do this positionally. So here we've got like a cube, and I've got another cube over there that got knocked out of the way. Here we go. So these have both positional and rotational friction on them. This one's a little more jiggly, and this one's a little bit tighter, but they resist about the same amount. So you can imagine using this for a variety of different like physics items. Maybe it's a plunger, or maybe it's like a lever, or maybe it's a knob or something you turn. So again, it's just seems like a really useful thing. Um, so this one positionally, once it moves far enough away, then it updates the target location, and rotational the same way. And so it's up to you. So there's all kinds of things that you can try to make out of this. And anyway, see. So here's something that I made. Here, check this out. This is, I don't even know if this makes much sense. Anyway, this is a wheel and a gear shifter that are based on this. They certainly still use like regular physics joints. They just don't use physics drives. All right, let me try to get this camera in a better place. There we go. That seems about right. So I'm trying to move away from physics drives, physics joint drives, because I found them to be kind of inconsistent with the temporal solver, and they're also a little bit inconsistent across different physics rates. So I've found that the PDs, the way that I've got them set up, seem to not have the same kinds of issues, and so I'm trying to go with that. So this, like I said, I'm still using joints for this. I'm just not using the joint drives as much. So this is a wheel with like 1,000 degrees of rotation, which is a little bit tricky. And so it's actually a joint series. It's a joint connected to another. So I've got like 330 degrees on each one of them, and then stacked together, they can do the 1,000 degrees or so that you would have in a real wheel. So it makes for a pretty cool thing. And the resistance, you can see there's a little bit of play in it, and there's certainly a little bit of resistance to it. And that's all tunable. And then again, the gear shift, same kind of thing. It's got a nice amount of resistance to it, a little bit of play to it, and it just makes for a cool physics object. Would this play well in a game? Well, it's still VR and you can't feel it, so no, it would be terrible in a game. But I still want to make it. I still want to make it and try to figure out how to make better physics objects in VR, right? This would certainly work well, if it wasn't like a 6-speed. If it was like a 2-speed or a 4-speed, then it would actually play pretty well. So it does feel pretty good. And it would benefit from like some haptics or something as well, or maybe even some helper code to pull your hand towards it. As anyway, that's a whole nother thing. So, but in any case, it's up to you, your imagination, how far you want to take this stuff. What do you want to build with physics? I was playing around, and this is another ridiculous object that I wanted to do just to test and see. Some of you will recognize this almost immediately. Others are like, I have no idea. Except it does look like a weird key shaped thing. It is, in fact, a key. So this is a pin tumbler lock. It does not move because the key is not in it, and these little capsules are holding it squarely, preventing it from having any motion. So as soon as I insert the key, the little tumblers go, and now it slides right out. So this is all physics. This is all a physics object. It's pointless. Don't get me wrong. Other than trying to learn how to do this kind of stuff better and better. But yeah, it's pretty neat. I don't know. I like it. So let me know what you think. Whether I'm wasting my time, or whether you think, holy crap, this guy's actually like doing some cool physics stuff. Anyway, that was pretty much it for the video. Just going over the new like friction PDs or whatever you want to call them, and showing you guys some physics objects that I just like playing around with in my not really in my spare time, but sometimes when I'm coding the game, it's nice to take to get have a little diversion and work on something completely different that has its own lessons to teach. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you like this kind of dev content. I know it's not interesting for everybody, but give me some feedback if you like this kind of stuff, because I know it's not super popular as far as the videos go, but I like putting them out there, and so if you like it, let me know. Otherwise, I may just kind of keep it to myself. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. See you in the next video. Bye.